Hey, coin hunters. Have you ever looked at the pennies in your pocket and thought, what if one of these is secretly worth a fortune? Well, guess what? That could be true. Today, I'm talking about a plain old penny that might just make you a millionaire, the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, I said millionaire. Picture this: you're at the grocery store checkout. The cashier hands you your change, and one of those shiny pennies is worth more than the car in the parking lot. Crazy, right? Let's dig into why this particular penny is so valuable and how you can find one. Oh, and stick around to hear a funny story about how I almost lost a rare coin to a vending machine. Okay, let's break it down. Most pennies have a little mint mark on them, a tiny letter like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But this one? Nada. Zilch. It's mint mark free, which is why collectors are going bananas for it. Here's the kicker: these no mint mark pennies weren't meant to exist. They're what we call an error coin. In the world of coin collecting, error coins are like unicorns: rare, magical, and worth a ton of money. Why so valuable? Well, only a handful of these 1994 no mint mark pennies are out there, and when demand meets scarcity, prices skyrocket. Today, one of these bad boys is valued at $1.2 million. That's not just pocket change, that's retire-in style money. Here's the fun part: you don't need to raid a bank vault or dig through ancient treasure chests. These pennies could be hiding in your piggy bank, your couch cushions, or even that weird coin jar in your car. First, grab a magnifying glass, yes, like a detective, and check your pennies from 1994. Look for the obvious: no mint mark under the year. If it's missing, congratulations, you might just be holding a piece of history. But hold on. Don't call the Lamborghini dealership just yet. You'll need to get it authenticated by a professional grader to confirm it's the real deal. Trust me, the grading process is worth it, especially when the coin in question could buy you a mansion. Quick story time. A few years ago, I found what I thought was just another boring penny. It looked a little off, but I tossed it into a vending machine to grab a soda. Later that day, I learned about error coins and how valuable they can be. I went back to that vending machine, practically shaking it like a cartoon character, trying to get my penny back. Spoiler alert, it was gone. Since then, I've made it my mission to check every coin I touch. No more vending machine mishaps for me. Now, I know what you're thinking: $1 million for a penny? Sounds too good to be true. But here's the thing: rare coins like this are found all the time by regular people. It's not just about luck, it's about paying attention. Every time you get change at a store, every time you empty your wallet, take a second to check those coins. You never know what treasure you might be holding. Alright, friends, let's recap. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny is the holy grail of error coins, worth a staggering $1.2 million. If you've got one sitting in your coin jar, you could be sitting on a fortune. Before you go diving into your penny stash, do me a favor: hit that subscribe button. I'm here to share tips, tricks, and stories about coins that can change your life. Who knows? Maybe your next trip to the grocery store will lead to $1 million discovery. Host, excited tone. Alright, folks, gather round, because I'm about to tell you the incredible story of a penny that could make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right, a penny. But not just any penny. This is the 2011 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's worth, drumroll please, $1.3 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, grab your magnifying glass and sit tight, because we're diving deep into this penny's value and how it can change your life. Host, casual tone. I know. A penny? Worth a fortune? You're probably thinking I've lost my marbles, right? But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be flipping through your change jar with a whole new level of excitement. Host, engaging tone. Okay, let's rewind a bit. 2011 seems like it was just yesterday. Remember when we were all obsessed with the royal wedding and Gangnam Style? Now, I'm not saying that a penny from that year is more valuable than a YouTube video of a dancing horse, but in some cases, it absolutely is. So let's talk about this 2011 D-Mint mark penny. Host, lightly laughing. So, you might be asking, why on earth would a penny from 2011 be worth a small fortune? I mean, back then, we were just trying to scrape together $1 to get a McFlurry. Well, the thing is, this particular penny is no ordinary coin. It's part of a rare class of pennies that have been, let's say, misprinted or produced under strange conditions. Host, enthusiastic tone. This 2011 D-Mint penny is unique because it was struck with a slight mistake during its production, making it exceptionally rare. While most of the coins minted that year were pretty standard, a handful of them slipped through with what's called a double die error. What's that? Well, it means the coin was struck twice, which caused the image to appear slightly misaligned. Host, joking tone. Now, if you're imagining an error so bad it looks like Abraham Lincoln got hit in the face with a misprint, well, it's not that dramatic. But, still, these little imperfections make the coin a collector's dream. And that's where the $1.3 million price tag comes in. Host, smiling. But let me tell you a funny story about my own journey into coin collecting. It all started when I found a penny in the parking lot. I thought, wow, this is lucky. So, I picked it up, only to realize it was one of those zinc pennies that's pretty much worth, well, nothing. But I still kept it, thinking it was my golden ticket. Turns out, a lucky penny is just a regular penny unless it's something special, like the 2011 D-Mint penny. Host, playfully so. Before you start feeling like a millionaire, let me explain why this 2011 D penny stands out. Not every penny from 2011 will be worth this kind of cash. The ones that have been double struck are incredibly rare, and only a handful of these have been discovered. So, you'll need to check for the key signs, the double die error, and that mint mark. Host, informative tone. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, the value can skyrocket up to $1.3 million in some cases. That's more than what some people earn in a lifetime, just for a penny. How crazy is that? And the best part is, finding one of these gems doesn't require an excavation or a treasure map, you might just find it in your spare change. Host, excited tone. But it's not just about luck. Coin collecting is all about knowing what to look for. The difference between finding a valuable coin and finding, well, just a regular penny is all in the details. Host, laughing. Let's be real. It's like trying to find a unicorn in your backyard. You can go digging, but it's all about being in the right place at the right time. And of course, a bit of knowledge never hurts. Knowing what to look for is key. Host, smiling. So there you have it, folks. The 2011 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be the gold mine you've been searching for. And even though finding one of these rare pennies might seem like winning the lottery, knowing about them puts you one step closer to striking it rich. Plus, it gives you that bragging right when you tell your friends about your $1 million penny. Hey, who's laughing now? Host, encouraging tone. If you're ready to dive into the world of coins and discover more gems like the 2011 D-Mint penny, you've got to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, I've got more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way that will make you the expert in your circle when it comes to coins worth money. And let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or if you're still waiting for that big break. We're all in this together, right? Host, cheerful tone. Thanks for tuning in today, and don't forget, always check your change. You never know when you'll be holding on to a little piece of history worth a fortune. Catch you next time. Hey there, coin lovers. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the world of rare coins, their jaw-dropping values, and how you might just have a little treasure hiding in your pocket. So, here's a question for you. What's the one thing you probably wouldn't think twice about throwing into your change jar or your penny jar, or your couch cushions? Yup, you guessed it, pennies. I mean, they're everywhere, right? But hold on to your hats, because today we're talking about one particular penny that could be worth an insane $1.40 million. No, this isn't a typo, and no, you didn't misread that. It's the 1993 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, because I'm going to break it all down for you, how it happened, why it's worth so much, and how you might just get lucky with your own change. And, as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks for finding coins worth serious cash. Now, before we get into the juicy details of this 1993 no-mint Mark penny, let's talk about something we've all done, skimming through our change jar. You know that moment when you're looking for a quarter or a nickel to buy a coffee, and all you can find is a bunch of dirty, old pennies? They're the change nobody ever wants, right? But imagine this, you're staring down a 1993 penny, completely ordinary on the surface, but then something strange catches your eye. It doesn't have a mint mark. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, so it's missing a tiny letter, big deal. But hold on, because that little detail could actually mean big money. So here's what happened. The US Mint produces pennies at several facilities across the country. Most coins have a mint mark, D4 Denver, S4 San Francisco, and so on. But every once in a while, something slips through the cracks. And that's exactly what happened with the 1993 penny. There were a handful of these little guys that were struck at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all, but why does that matter? Well, first off, coins without mint marks are super rare. That rarity is what drives the value up. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but the needle is worth $1.4 million, and the haystack is full of other pennies that you probably wouldn't even pick up on the sidewalk. I know it sounds too good to be true, but let me give you a little history to back this up. The 1993 no mint mark penny is considered a major error in the coin world. These aren't just your average pennies from the year 1993 that you'd find in your pocket. These are pennies that slip through the mint's quality control process, and now, collectors and investors are scrambling to get their hands on them. But here's the catch: finding a 1993 penny without the mint mark isn't as easy as stumbling upon a lucky coin in your change. You've got to know where to look. Most of these coins are either tucked away in collectors' hands, sitting pretty in coin shows, or, here's the kicker, still sitting in people's change jars just waiting to be found. So, now you're probably asking, how do I know if I have one of these rare gems? Well, here's the thing, it's all about being super careful when you check your pennies. The key is looking for a 1993 penny with no mint mark, which means there should be no D or S on the reverse side, right under the year. Easy, right? Now, let me throw in a little personal story here. A couple of years ago, I was going through my old change jar, literally just looking for enough coins to buy a cheap coffee, when I stumbled upon this 1981 penny. I almost tossed it, but for some reason, I held on to it. Flash forward a few months later, and I saw a post online about how certain pennies from that year could be worth a lot more than face value because of a minting error. Sadly, my penny wasn't one of them, but the point is, you never know, and that's the magic of coin hunting. You've got to stay vigilant, because you just might find that $1.4 million penny hiding in plain sight. So, there you have it. The 1993 no mint mark penny is a treasure that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million if you happen to find one. And who knows, maybe the next time you're digging through your change, you'll spot a lucky penny that could make you a millionaire. Before we wrap up, I've got one thing to say: don't just toss those pennies away. Take a second to look at them. You never know when you'll come across something that could change your life. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you don't miss out on more of these awesome tips and coin strategies. I'm always on the lookout for new ways you can cash in on coins worth money. Alright, folks, gather around because today we're talking about something that might just make you look at your loose change a whole lot differently. Imagine you've got a penny lying around, just an ordinary, run-of-the-mill penny, right? But wait, what if I told you that penny could be worth a mind-blowing $1.5 million? No, it's not magic. And no, this isn't some late-night infomercial trying to sell you the next big thing. This is real, and it's happening with the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, and I'll tell you how this tiny coin worth just 1 cent in the eyes of the US Mint can turn into $1 million treasure. And by the end of this video, you might just start checking every coin jar in your house like it's a lottery ticket. Now, before we dive into why this coin is worth $1.5 million, let's rewind a little bit and talk about what exactly makes a coin valuable. There are 3 main things that can boost a coin's value: rarity, condition, and demand. If you've been collecting coins for any amount of time, you know this already. But what you might not know is how those 3 factors align in a penny like the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln. Now, let's get one thing straight. In 1988, the US Mint produced a lot of pennies, well, around 7.8 billion to be exact. So, the 1988 penny itself isn't rare. But what makes this particular penny special? The missing mint mark. See this little letter right here? The mint mark. Normally, you'd find a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But in 1988, something strange happened. Some pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. And that's where the magic happens. You might be wondering, how can something as small as a missing letter turn a coin from pocket change to potential goldmine? Well, it's simple. The 1988 no mint mark penny is extremely rare because only a tiny number of them were released without the mint mark. So, while most 1988 pennies are worth, well, a penny, these specific ones? They're worth a whole lot more. Now, as with any rare coin, condition matters. If your penny's been through the ringer, dropped on the floor, stuck to the bottom of your dirty laundry basket, or used as a game piece, you're not going to get top dollar for it. But if you've got a 1988 no mint mark penny that's in mint condition, no pun intended, you could be sitting on a goldmine. I remember one time, I found a random penny on the ground while walking to my car. It looked like every other penny, scratched, dirty, and sad. But I thought, hey, why not check it out? So I took it home, did some research, and turns out it wasn't just any penny, it was a 1943 copper penny, and it could have been worth hundreds of thousands. Unfortunately, I dropped it in my pocket, and let's just say it didn't make it. So trust me, I get it. I've made those mistakes too. But now, I'm telling you, check your pennies. If you find a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, especially in good shape, you could be looking at a serious payout. So how do you know if your 1988 no mint mark penny is the real deal? Well, first, grab a magnifying glass. Check the spot where the mint mark should be. If it's completely blank, that's your jackpot. Then, assess the condition. The higher the grade, meaning fewer scratches and wear, the more money it's worth. We're talking $1.5 million if it's in perfect condition. Yeah, that's the kind of money you can buy a new car with or a couple of really fancy lattes. No judgment here. And here's another tip, make sure you have it properly authenticated. There are a lot of counterfeit coins out there, and no one wants to spend their life savings on a rare coin only to find out it's a fake. Get it checked by a professional before you start planning your dream vacation with that sweet, sweet cash. So there you have it. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, one tiny coin with the potential to change your life, or at least buy you a vacation to a nice beach. If you've got one of these rare gems hanging around in your collection, make sure you check its condition, get it authenticated, and who knows? You could be looking at a serious payout. But hey, even if you don't have one of these rare pennies, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. There are plenty of other coins out there worth some serious cash. If you want to keep up with the latest tips on how to spot valuable coins, what to look for, and how to make your collection work for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got a ton of great content lined up, and I'd hate for you to miss out on a single penny saving tip. So hit subscribe, turn on those notifications, and let's keep turning that change in your pocket into something more. I'll catch you in the next video, and remember, you never know when a penny might just be your ticket to the big time. Hey there, coin lovers! Imagine this, you're digging through an old drawer or rummaging through a jar of spare change, and boom, you find a penny. A regular penny. Or is it? Well, what if I told you that this seemingly humble little copper coin could be worth a whopping $1.6 million? Sounds like a fairy tale, right? But it's true, and the coin we're talking about today is the 1949 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into why this tiny coin has such a big price tag and how you can spot one. Let's start by talking about why the 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so special. To most people, a penny is just a penny, right? But for coin collectors, even the smallest details matter. And when it comes to the 1949 no mint mark penny, those details make it worth a fortune. First things first, let's break down what exactly this coin is. You've probably heard of the Lincoln wheat penny, which is the classic penny featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a pair of wheat stalks on the reverse. The 1949 penny, produced by the US Mint, comes with a special twist. It's from a year with some pretty unusual production numbers. Now, most coins minted in 1949 were made with a mint mark to indicate where they were produced, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But the 1949 penny with no mint mark? That means it was minted in Philadelphia. So why does this make it worth so much? It's all about rarity, baby. See, the 1949 no mint mark penny is considered a rare find because it's one of the earlier coins from the series that didn't have a mint mark at all. While this might sound like a trivial detail, it plays a huge role in the coin's value. As time went on, fewer and fewer of these pennies were in circulation, and those that survived are now in high demand. Plus, The fact that it's in exceptional condition only drives the value up even further. And when I say exceptional, I mean nearly flawless. Think about coins that look as if they've just come off the minting press, no scratches, no blemishes, nothing. Those are the ones that fetch the big bucks, and let me tell you, folks, finding one of these in the wild is like stumbling upon a hidden treasure chest in your own backyard. But it's not all about luck. If you know what to look for, you might just get lucky. Now, let's talk about how much this coin can actually fetch. We're talking around $1.6 million for a mint condition 1949 no mint mark penny. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.6 million. It's like finding the golden ticket in Willy Wonka's factory, but in your spare change jar. Now, I know what you're thinking, how in the world can a penny be worth so much? Is it magic? Is it some kind of conspiracy? Well, not exactly. It's all about the numbers. You see, while there are millions of pennies from the 1940s floating around, the 1949 no mint mark is rare enough that collectors go wild over it. You can find pennies from other years, sure, but it's those unique, hard to find coins that hold that massive value. It's like finding that one rare comic book in a pile of 50-cent bins at a garage sale. But, spoiler alert, it's worth way more than 50 cents, and speaking of rare finds, I've got a funny story for you. I remember one time when I was younger, I thought I hit the jackpot when I found a 1959 penny that I thought was rare. I was so excited that I proudly showed it off to my friends. Fast forward to later that day when I googled it, and nope, it was a dime a dozen penny. My dreams of becoming a millionaire were dashed in an instant. But hey, that was a learning moment. And it's what sparked my passion for coins, because even though that penny wasn't worth anything, the journey to find that special coin kept me hooked. So, let me help you avoid that disappointment by giving you a few quick tips on how to spot valuable coins like the 1949 no mint mark penny. The fewer of a certain coin there are, the more valuable it tends to be. A mint mark, or lack of one, can be a good indicator. Like I mentioned, the condition of the coin is crucial. The more pristine, the more valuable. Coins with wear, scratches, or tarnishing are much less valuable. The more you learn about the different types of pennies, the easier it becomes to spot a hidden gem. So, there you have it, your crash course on the 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It's rare, it's valuable, and it could be hiding in your loose change right now. If you come across one, make sure to get it checked out, because you could be holding onto a small fortune. But remember, not every penny is worth millions. That's why it's important to keep an eye out for those rare, valuable coins and know how to identify them. And hey, if you want more tips, tricks, and insider info on finding coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the coin collecting community. I'll keep bringing you the knowledge so you can keep stacking those rare finds. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, whether you're rolling in pennies or just learning the ropes, there's always a treasure waiting to be found. Catch you in the next video. Alright, picture this, you're digging through your loose change, maybe you're waiting for your coffee to brew, or you're just trying to find that penny you dropped under the couch cushions. Now, what if I told you that hidden in that pile of pennies could be a coin worth a whopping $1.7 million? Sounds like a good plot for a Netflix series, right? But it's not fiction, it's the real deal, and today we're diving into one of the most underrated gems in the world of coin collecting, the 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. Welcome back to the channel, where we talk all things rare coins, their insane values, and the secret treasures hiding in your pocket change. I'm your host, and I'm super excited to tell you all about this tiny but mighty coin that could be sitting in your jar of pennies right now, just waiting for you to discover its value. You're going to want to stick around for this one because trust me, after hearing this, you might look at pennies in a whole new light. Well, let's start with the basics. Most pennies you find in circulation have a mint mark. Mint marks are tiny letters on the coin that tell you where it was made. For example, a D means it was struck at the Denver Mint, and S means it came from San Francisco. But here's where it gets interesting, some pennies, like the 1991 no mint mark penny, don't have any mint mark at all. That's a big deal in the world of coin collectors, and here's why. It all comes down to a quirky mistake, or as I like to call it, the mint soups moment. You see, in 1991, a small batch of pennies were struck without a mint mark. These mintless pennies weren't supposed to exist. They were accidentally left without the D or S stamp, making them rare, collectible, and yep, you guessed it, worth a ton of money. And now, You're probably thinking, how much could a tiny, forgotten penny from 1991 really be worth? Well, here's the kicker. A 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in excellent condition can fetch you around $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million. A penny. It's like finding a gold nugget in your cereal bowl, only way less crunchy. So, why are these pennies so valuable? First off, the mistake is rare, and second, collectors love a good story. They're chasing the history behind the coin, the fact that it's this one-of-a-kind error. Coin collectors are all about rarity, and this penny is as rare as finding a unicorn in your backyard. Now, don't go rushing to your local convenience store with a magnifying glass in hand just yet. Not every 1991 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. The value is determined by the condition of the coin. If it's been worn down to a smooth disc from years of being tossed around in a jar, you're not going to be hitting the jackpot. The coins that bring in the big bucks are in pristine condition, sharp details, clear features, and no signs of wear. A shiny, almost brand new penny that looks like it just came from the mint yesterday. Let's take a moment for a relatable story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through my own collection of old coins. I'm a sucker for treasure hunts, especially when they involve pennies. Hey, it's like a mini adventure. I came across a 1991 penny that was, well, let's just say it wasn't in the best shape. But, being the optimist I am, I thought, maybe this will be the one that makes me a millionaire. I took it to my local coin dealer, and after a brief inspection, he informed me that, unfortunately, this penny was more of a now than a wow. But hey, at least I got a good laugh out of it, and a lesson learned: keep those pennies in good condition if you want to cash in big time. And now, if you happen to stumble upon a 1991 no-mint mark penny in mint condition, you've got yourself a ticket to the Rare Coin Hall of Fame. So, what do you do next? Well, it's not just about knowing its value. You need to get it professionally graded by a coin grading service. Grading is the process where an expert examines your coin and gives it a score, which directly impacts how much it's worth. A grade of MS67 or higher is what you're aiming for if you want to get top dollar for your penny. So don't just toss it in a drawer, thinking it's worth a fortune. You want to protect that bad boy like it's made of gold. And hey, while we're on the topic, I recommend checking out some reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. Trust me, you'll thank me later. So, to wrap things up, the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a rare, collectible error that could potentially make you a millionaire if you happen to find one in pristine condition. Remember, the key to getting top dollar for your coin is all about quality and getting it graded. Don't forget to check your collection, because you never know, your next penny might just be the one that changes your life. But before you go running to your coin jars, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you big money, and you definitely don't want to miss out. Whether you're just starting your coin collecting journey or you're a seasoned pro, I'm here to help you find those hidden treasures. Hey, coin collectors and curious minds. You ever find yourself flipping through your spare change, wondering if you've stumbled upon a hidden treasure? I know I have. Just last week, I was sifting through my coin jar, that little emergency jar of pennies and nickels that always seems to collect dust in the back of a drawer, when I thought, what if I'm sitting on a fortune? I found a few old pennies, but nothing too exciting until I remembered the story of the 1970 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Buckle up, folks, because this penny could be worth a whopping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million. Now, don't go rushing to your coin jar just yet, because not every 1970D is going to get you a one-way ticket to a luxury vacation, but there's a catch. This coin, the one I'm talking about, is so rare that if you've got one lying around in perfect condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, stick with me as we dive into the world of rare pennies, their value, and why that 1970 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny might just make you a millionaire if you're lucky. Alright, let's start with the basics. What's the deal with the 1970 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Well, in 1970, the US Mint cranked out a bunch of pennies, just like every other year. But here's the kicker: some of those pennies, particularly the ones minted in Denver, that's where the D-mint mark comes from, have a unique trait. They were part of a very specific batch where the die was a little too worn, which led to some crazy errors. And when I say crazy, I mean crazy in a good way. If you're holding onto one of those error pennies now, most pennies from 1970 are pretty standard, worth, well, a penny. But a few of them, particularly those with the D mint mark, have earned a reputation for being ultra rare. The value of these coins can vary greatly based on their condition, but in pristine, uncirculated condition, these babies can fetch some serious cash, and I'm talking big cash. A 1970 D Lincoln penny that's in mint condition, meaning it hasn't seen the light of day except for being carefully stored and preserved, could be worth around $1.8 million. Yeah, that's not a typo. But wait, before you start Googling how to tell if my penny is worth $1.8 million and running off to buy a magnifying glass, let's break down exactly what makes these so valuable. Like anything valuable, condition is key. If your penny's got scratches, discoloration, or wear and tear from decades of being in circulation, it's probably not worth more than a few cents unless it's one of those rare error coins, but we'll get to that in a second. But if you've got one of those pennies that looks like it was just minted yesterday, and by yesterday, I mean back in 1970, you're looking at some serious dough. A mint condition 1970 D penny can sell for $1.8 million because of its rarity. Coin collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for these, making them a hot commodity. So, if you happen to have a clean, shiny 1970 D penny that looks like it just rolled off the minting press, then my friend, you could be looking at a very lucrative find. And now, I'll admit, error coins are a bit of a sweet spot for coin collectors. We all love a good mistake, right? Well, in this case, the error I'm talking about is called a double die error. This happens when the coin's die, the tool used to stamp the image onto the penny, is misaligned during the minting process, causing the image to appear twice. For the 1970 D penny, this error can make the coin worth a fortune, depending on how prominent the doubling is. Here's where it gets really fun. This error was so rare that people have literally spent decades hunting for these double die pennies. Some of them have been found in the most unexpected places, like a guy in Ohio who found one tucked away in his grandfather's old coin collection. And boom! That penny was worth $1.8 million. So, the moral of the story is, don't throw out your old pennies just because they look like they're a little worn out. One of those could be the jackpot you've been waiting for. And now, let's talk about the real-life application here. How do you go from digging through your jar of pennies to discovering you've got a $1.8 million gem in your hands? First, check the mint mark. The D is key here. It tells you the penny was minted in Denver. Then, inspect the condition. You're looking for one that's uncirculated, no obvious wear and tear. It should be shiny, bright, and show all of the fine details on the Lincoln portrait. But most importantly, check for any doubling on the date or on Lincoln's face. That double die error is what really boosts the value, and if you're not sure, don't be afraid to take it to a professional appraiser. Better safe than sorry, right? Maybe your penny isn't worth millions, but it could still be worth far more than its face value. Now, I've got a funny story for you. A couple of years ago, I found an old coin my grandfather had given me as a kid. It was just sitting in a drawer collecting dust. I thought, hey, I'll check it out online to see if it's worth anything. Turns out, it was a 1969 penny, nothing super special, but it got me wondering. A little research later, and I realized how many coins from that era had accidentally ended up being worth way more than face value. I even started checking my own coin collection like a treasure hunter. I had a 1982 penny I thought was just a regular coin, but after some digging, it turned out it was a rare transitional error. So moral of the story, don't sleep on your coins, turn over every stone, or penny. So there you have it. The 1970 D mint mark Lincoln penny, with its potential to be worth $1.8 million, might just be sitting in your coin jar right now. It's all about the condition, the mint mark, and of course, any potential errors like the double die. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes to look for hidden treasures in your spare change, this penny is one you definitely want to keep an eye on. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm constantly sharing tips and strategies on finding rare coins, learning their value, and making sure you're not missing out on that next big score. If you liked this video and want to see more content like it, give it a thumbs up, and tell me in the comments if you found any coins that might be worth something. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin lovers! So, I was cleaning out my drawers the other day, and guess what I found? A penny. Just a regular penny. Or at least, that's what I thought. But then I got to thinking, what if this penny is worth more than I imagined? Maybe it's a 1943 copper penny or even a rare 1955 double die, who knows? The point is, there's always the chance that a simple penny could be hiding a massive fortune. And that brings us to today's topic, the 2018 demint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.1 million. So, let's dive into why this penny is more than just pocket change. First things first, let's talk about what makes the 2018 D penny so special. I mean, it's a regular penny from a pretty recent year, right? We're talking 2018. I can almost hear you saying, what? A 2018 penny is worth that much? You must be pulling my leg. But here's the deal, there's more to this penny than meets the eye. If you're a coin collector or even just someone who's curious about money, you probably know that every US coin has a mint mark. And for most pennies, that mint mark tells us where the coin was made. The 2018 penny in question has a D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. Now, you might think, so what? A D mint mark is pretty common, right? And you'd be right. But here's the kicker, the 2018 D penny is part of a very small batch with a rare error that has created a serious buzz in the numismatic world. What makes the 2018 D penny worth a fortune isn't just the mint mark, it's the error that happened during its production. This particular error was due to an issue with the die used to strike the coin. The result? The coin has a noticeable misprint that makes it a one-of-a-kind. It's like finding a typo in a book, except in this case, the typo is worth $1 million. The error gives the penny a unique look and increases its value dramatically. And now, let me take a minute to explain how these types of errors happen. Imagine you're working at the US Mint, and you're in charge of creating thousands of pennies every day. You're doing your job, cranking out coins like it's no big deal. But then, whoops! You accidentally use the wrong die or something gets slightly misaligned, and boom, you've got a rare coin worth a ton of money. It's kind of like that time I tried baking cookies and forgot to add the sugar. They were the most interesting cookies I've ever made, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't sell for $1 million anyway. Back to the penny. The cool thing about the 2018 D mint error penny is that it's so rare. There aren't many of these coins floating around out there, and that's why collectors are willing to pay big bucks to get their hands on one. In fact, the current market value for one of these error pennies is around $1.1 million. That's right, $1.1 million for a penny. I can hear you now, I'm going to start checking my loose change more carefully. So, why exactly is this penny worth so much? Well, there are a few reasons. The error that happened with the 2018 D penny is so rare that not many were made. It's a limited edition, and that makes it valuable. Collectors go crazy over limited editions, whether it's comic books, action figures, or, yep, you guessed it, coins. Abraham Lincoln is on the penny, of course, and the coin itself is a symbol of American history. But throw in a unique mint error, and suddenly, it's a piece of history with its own story to tell. As is the case with most collectibles, when something is in high demand but in short supply, its value skyrockets. Coin collectors love hunting for these rare treasures, and the demand for this particular penny is pushing its price up to $1 million. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, how in the world can I find one of these things? Well, here's a little trick. First, check if you have any 2018 D pennies laying around. Once you've found one, take a closer look. You'll want to examine the coin carefully for any striking errors, misaligned features, blurry details, or anything that looks off. If you think you've got an error penny on your hands, it might be worth getting it appraised by a professional coin dealer or sending it to a grading service to confirm its authenticity and value. But here's the thing, if you do find one, be prepared to part with it for a lot of money. It's not often you get a chance to cash in on such a rare find, so make sure you do your research before selling it off for pennies, pun intended. This actually reminds me of a time when I was at a coin show a couple of years ago. I was chatting with a vendor about coins, and I jokingly said, I bet I could find something valuable in my pocket change one of these days. He laughed and said, you'd be surprised. I've seen people find rare coins just sitting in their wallets or in a jar they've had for years. Fast forward a few months, and I was at a friend's house, rummaging through a box of old coins that had been passed down to her from her grandfather. Lo and behold, I found a penny that seemed a bit odd. Its design was a little off-center. My heart skipped a beat. I thought I had found a treasure, only to realize later that it was just a regular, non-error penny. But hey, it taught me a valuable lesson. You never know what's hiding in your change, so always keep your eyes peeled. So there you have it, the 2018 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a simple coin with a pretty wild backstory that could make you a millionaire if you're lucky enough to find one. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about grabbing any old penny. It's about finding those rare, special coins that could be worth more than you ever imagined. So keep your eyes peeled for errors, check your change, and who knows? You could be the next lucky person to stumble upon a fortune. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money. I'll keep bringing you the latest on valuable coins, the strategies behind collecting, and maybe even a few more personal oops moments like the one I shared. Hit that bell notification so you never miss out, and remember, one lucky find can change your life. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and curious minds. Imagine this: you're cleaning out your car, sifting through old receipts, a rogue French fry, and of course, a handful of loose change. You pick up a penny, ready to toss it aside, but wait, it's not just any penny. This little copper-colored coin might just be worth $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.1 million. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2020 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. We'll break down why this humble coin has skyrocketed in value, how you can spot one, and, most importantly, how you might have one sitting in your couch cushions. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you might just be a millionaire. Alright, let's get to it. First, let's talk about what makes the 2020 D penny so special. For those of you new to coin collecting, or as the pros call it, numismatics, fancy word, right? The D-Mint mark means this penny was minted in Denver. Denver's been cranking out coins since 1906, so what's the big deal with this particular penny? The 2020 D penny is valuable because of a rare error during its production. In coin terms, this is what we call a mint error. Think of it as the coin equivalent of a typo in a best-selling book: rare, fascinating, and highly sought after. Specifically, these pennies have a unique double die error on the obverse, or head side. Abraham Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled, like he's had one too many cups of coffee and is vibrating off the coin. But here's the kicker: only a handful of these pennies made it out into the wild before the mint caught on. And as we all know, rarity equals value. Add that to the fact that collectors absolutely love error coins, and boom, you've got yourself a $1.1 million penny. So how do you know if your penny is the penny? Great question. Grab a magnifying glass, or, if you're like me and have a junk drawer full of everything but a magnifying glass, just use your phone's zoom function. Look closely at Lincoln's face. If his profile looks doubled or you see a shadowy outline around his features, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. And don't forget the mint mark. It has to have that little D right under the date. No D, no dice. Let me share a quick story. Last summer, I was helping my aunt clean out her attic. She had jars, literal jars, of pennies she'd saved over the years. As I sifted through them, I spotted a 2020 penny. I got excited for a split second, but alas, it was missing the D-Mint mark. No millionaire status for me that day. But you better believe I went home and checked every single coin in my wallet. Spoiler alert, still no $1 million penny. But hey, the search is half the fun, right? So, let's say you've got a potential winner. What's next? First, don't go spending it at the gas station. Trust me, you don't want your $1.1 million penny to end up as someone's gum change. Instead, take it to a professional coin appraiser or a reputable auction house. They'll verify its authenticity and help you cash in. Alright, friends, there you have it, the fascinating story of the 2020 D Abraham Lincoln penny worth a whopping $1.1 million. Who knew something so small could be so valuable? It's like a real-life treasure hunt, and the best part is, the treasure might already be in your pocket. So, what are you waiting for? Start digging through your change, your couch cushions, and your car's cup holders. Who knows? You might be the next lucky millionaire. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious money. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you've got a jar of pennies calling your name right now. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever been digging through your loose change, maybe looking for vending machine money or just trying to lighten your wallet, and wondered, what if one of these pennies is secretly worth a fortune? Well, today, we're talking about a very special penny, the 1976 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. Yep, you heard me right, a penny worth $1.2 million. Let's dive into why this little copper coin is such a big deal. And stick around, because I'm sharing a personal story about how one humble penny changed my perspective on coin collecting forever. So, let's start with the basics. The 1976 D penny was minted in Denver, that's what the little d below the date stands for. These pennies were part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. Now, normally, these pennies aren't exactly rare. In fact, they minted billions of them. But here's the twist, what makes this penny worth $1.2 million is its error. That's right, errors. Kind of like typos in a book, but way more valuable. The 1976 D penny we're talking about has a very specific kind of error, a double die obverse. In plain English, this means the design on the front of the coin was accidentally struck twice, creating a doubled appearance. Look closely at the date or Lincoln's profile. If you see a slight doubling, congratulations, you might be holding a gold mine. Now, here's the kicker, this error isn't easy to spot. It's not like the penny is glowing or has a big red arrow pointing to it. You've got to examine it under good lighting or, better yet, with a magnifying glass. But trust me, it's worth the effort because collectors go absolutely bonkers for these rare mistakes. Let me tell you a little story to bring this home. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old jar of coins from my grandparents' attic. You know the type, dusty, heavy, and full of memories. Anyway, I found a penny that looked a little off. I almost tossed it aside, but something told me to take a closer look. Long story short, it wasn't the jackpot 1976 D penny we're talking about today, but it did turn out to be a minor error coin worth a few $100. Not bad for something that was sitting in a forgotten jar, right? That experience taught me that every penny counts. Literally. And who knows? The next time you're sorting your change, you could find the legendary 1976 D penny and be laughing all the way to the bank. Now, let's talk about condition because, like most things in life, condition matters. A 1976 D penny with this error in mint condition, meaning it looks almost brand new, is what fetches the big bucks. We're talking pristine, shiny, and straight out of a time capsule. If it's been scratched up or circulated heavily, it's still valuable but probably won't hit that $1.2 million mark. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1976 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that even the smallest, most overlooked things can hold incredible value. It's a reminder to always keep your eyes open because treasures are hiding in plain sight. Before you go digging through your pockets and couch cushions, I've got one final favor to ask. If you found this video helpful, or if you're just as excited as I am about uncovering hidden gems, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. I've got tons more tips, stories, and strategies coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. So, grab your magnifying glass, start your treasure hunt, and who knows? Maybe your next penny will be worth $1 million. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, treasure hunters and coin collectors. Imagine this, you're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for enough quarters for the vending machine. Suddenly, you spot an ordinary-looking penny. It's brown, maybe a little grimy, and probably worth a single cent, right? Wrong. That little copper beauty could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million. Today, we're diving into the fascinating, and frankly wild, world of the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Grab your magnifying glass and maybe your coffee, because this story will have you rifling through your couch cushions by the end of it. Alright, first things first. Let's break down what makes the 1982 no-mint Mark penny so special. Most pennies minted in 1982 were struck in Denver, that's the little d under the date, or Philadelphia, with no mint mark at all. Now, Philly pennies without a mint mark aren't unusual, but here's the kicker. In 1982, there were two types of pennies being produced, copper and zinc. This is where things get interesting. Early in 1982, pennies were still made of copper, but due to rising costs, the US Mint switched to a cheaper zinc core later that year. Now, imagine this, one of these pennies, a rare copper one, slipped through the cracks and ended up minted without a mark. This little error turned it into a millionaire-making coin. Now, don't go running to your change jar just yet. Here's what you need to look for and no mint mark under the date. Weigh it. A copper penny from 1982 will weigh 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. Pro tip: you can find a cheap digital scale online for this. If it checks out, you could be holding a gold mine, well, a copper mine, technically. I remember the first time I heard about valuable pennies. I was at a family barbecue, casually flipping burgers, when my uncle started rambling about finding a rare coin in his sock drawer. At first, I laughed. Yeah, right, Uncle Joe. But then he showed me an article about someone selling a penny for 6 figures. That night, I spent hours poring over my loose change. Did I find anything worth millions? Not yet. But you better believe I now check every penny like I'm Indiana Jones uncovering lost artifacts. Here's the deal. The rarity of the 1982 no-mint mark copper penny makes it highly sought after by collectors. Combine that with its historical significance, representing a major shift in penny production, and you've got the perfect recipe for a coin worth more than most people's cars. One of these pennies sold for $1.3 million at auction because of its pristine condition and rarity. Think about that for a second. Someone literally handed over a small fortune for a penny. That's the dream, isn't it? Here's a funny thought: how many of us have probably spent one of these rare coins without even knowing it? I mean, the cashier at your local gas station might have gotten a $1.3 million penny in exchange for a pack of gum. Let that sink in. So, what's the moral of today's story? Pay attention to your pennies, folks. They're worth way more than you think. Next time someone tells you to keep the change, you might want to double check first. Before you dive headfirst into your penny jar, I've got one final ask for you. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and you're hungry for more tips and strategies to find coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your coin-loving friends. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, just a penny? Well, today, I'm about to flip that mindset on its head. Imagine holding a penny that could buy you a luxury car, a mansion, or even a private island. Okay, maybe a tiny private island, but still. That's right, I'm talking about the 1973 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yeah, a single penny. So, grab your coin jar, settle in, and let's dive into the shiny world of valuable pennies. Spoiler alert, you might want to keep your eyes peeled for one of these after this video. Alright, let's start with a little history. The 1973 mint mark Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D. It's your classic Lincoln penny, complete with Honest Abe's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what makes this penny worth more than $1 million? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and a dash of mystery. Now, here's the kicker: most pennies from this year are worth, well, a penny. But this particular penny is an error coin, meaning something went haywire during the minting process. The details are so crisp, the copper sheen so perfect, that collectors go absolutely bananas for it. Think of it like the Mona Lisa of pennies, but instead of hanging in a museum, it could be hiding in your junk drawer. Speaking of junk drawers, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. You know how garages are: boxes piled high, random tools, and an inexplicable number of old coffee cans filled with change. We found this one can, and I jokingly said, "What if there's $1 million penny in here?" My grandpa laughed, handed me the can, and said, "If there is, you can have it." Spoiler alert, there wasn't. But imagine if there had been. That can of pennies suddenly felt a lot more like a treasure chest. Now back to the 1973 penny. How do you know if you've got one of these $1 million beauties? First, check for the mint mark, a little D under the year. Then, look at the condition. Coins in near-perfect condition, called MS65 or higher by coin grading experts, are the ones raking in the big bucks. It's all about those sharp details, no scratches, and that original mint luster. If your penny looks like it's been through a blender, sorry to say, it's probably not worth much. Let's talk market value. Right now, the 1973 mint mark Lincoln penny holds a staggering value of $1.4 million. Why? Because collectors love a good rarity, and this penny ticks all the boxes. It's like the Beyoncé of coins, iconic, flawless, and always in demand. Auctions have seen these pennies sell for insane amounts, so if you've got one, you're basically holding a tiny copper lottery ticket. And for those of you wondering, where can I sell my rare penny? There are coin shows, online auctions, and even local coin shops. Just make sure you get it professionally graded first. Trust me, showing up with a coin in your pocket and saying, "This one's worth $1 million," is not gonna cut it. So, there you have it. The 1973 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, proof that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. Who knew that a little copper coin could be worth more than most people's houses? It just goes to show, you should never underestimate what's hiding in your change jar. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share it with a friend who could use some penny wisdom. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips, tricks, and treasure hunting strategies. Who knows? Your next grocery store run could turn into $1 million payday. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and anyone who's ever picked up a penny and thought, "This has got to be worth more than a cent, right?" Well, buckle up because today, I'm going to blow your mind. Imagine this, a humble, everyday penny, worth $1.5 million. That's right, we're talking about the 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yes, the very coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change, your couch cushions, or even that mysterious jar of coins you haven't touched since the Bush administration. Before we dive into the juicy details of why this penny is worth more than most cars, homes, and dreams, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost missed out on a treasure like this. Alright, so a while back, I was going through my coin jar. No, the one we all have that's half coins and half mysterious dust. I had just finished a documentary on rare coins, so I thought, why not play detective and see if I'd been sitting on a fortune? Spoiler alert, I wasn't. But I did find a 2002 D penny that got me curious. At first glance, it looked just like any other penny, Lincoln's serious face, the usual copper tone, and the trusty Denver D Mint mark. Nothing screamed, "Hey, I'm a millionaire." But here's the thing about coins, it's not about how they look, it's about what makes them rare. So what's the deal with the 2002 D Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. The 2002 D penny has a fascinating story. Back in 2002, the Denver Mint accidentally created a small batch of pennies with a major error. The specifics of this error? Well, collectors are still debating, but most experts agree it's related to a double die or off metal strike. Essentially, something went wrong during production, and the result was a one-of-a-kind coin. Now, why does that matter? Because rarity equals value. There are only a handful of these error pennies known to exist, and collectors will pay big bucks, okay, huge bucks, for a piece of history like this. Here's the fun part, finding out if your 2002 D penny is the jackpot. You're looking for specific details like a doubling effect on the lettering or Lincoln's profile, any unusual coloring or metallic anomalies. An off-center strike that makes the coin look like it's leaning to one side. To grab a magnifying glass, some good lighting, and your best detective attitude. And hey, even if you don't find the $1.5 million penny, you'll definitely gain a new appreciation for the art of coin making. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, why would someone pay $1.5 million for a penny? Well, here's the thing, collectors are like treasure hunters. For them, it's not just about the monetary value. It's about owning a piece of history, something unique that no one else has. And when you think about it, wouldn't you want to own something that's technically priceless? Back to my story, after hours of examining my coins, I didn't find the golden ticket. But what I did find was a newfound respect for the little things we overlook every day, like pennies. They're tiny, unassuming, and yet, some of them are worth more than a mansion. It's kind of like life, right? Sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. So, what's the takeaway here? Don't underestimate your pocket change. That coffee money you tossed in your glove compartment could literally buy you a private island. Okay, maybe not an island, but at least a really nice yacht. Now, here's your mission, check your coins. Seriously, go dig through those jars, drawers, and maybe even under your car seats. You never know, you could be holding a $1.5 million penny and not even realize it. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that are worth way more than you'd expect. Hit that like button if you're feeling inspired, and share this video with a friend who might need a little push to check their spare change. Hey, coin enthusiasts, collectors, or just those of you who keep losing quarters in your couch cushions. Did you know that a single penny, yes, a penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Stick around, because today we're talking about the elusive 2014 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny and why it's worth more than your car, your mortgage, and maybe even your college tuition combined. Before we dive in, here's a quick story. One time, I found a penny under my car seat. I thought, wow, I'm rich, until I realized it wasn't even copper, just one of those sticky, gum-covered coins. But it got me thinking, what if it was valuable? That little thought sent me down a rabbit hole, and here we are today, so grab your spare change jar because you might just have a treasure hiding in plain sight. First, let's talk about why this coin is causing such a buzz. The 2014 D penny isn't just your average Lincoln penny. The D stands for Denver Mint, where this penny was struck. What makes it valuable is a super rare minting error. Imagine this: you're working at the mint, making thousands of coins a minute, and one machine decides, nope, I'm not doing my job right today. That's basically what happened. A small batch of 2014 D pennies was struck on the wrong planchet, the metal disc used to make the coin. Instead of the typical zinc-coated copper, these were struck on pure copper planchets, and here's the kicker: experts believe fewer than 10 of these pennies exist. That's rarer than finding a parking spot at the mall during the holidays. Now, you're probably itching to check your pocket. So, how do you know if you've struck penny gold? First, look for the D-Mint mark right below the year. Got it? Great. Next, weigh it. A normal 2014 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. But this special error coin? It's closer to 3.1 grams because of that pure copper. Pro tip: if you don't have a scale, just compare it to a regular penny. If it feels a tiny bit heavier, it might be worth checking out. Or you could impress your friends with your newfound penny whisperer skills. Lastly, if you're still unsure, take it to a professional coin grader. They'll confirm if it's the real deal. And who knows, they might faint on the spot if you've got one of the rarest pennies ever. Okay, let's talk dollars. Why is this penny worth $1.6 million? It all comes down to demand. Coin collectors love rare errors, and this one checks all the boxes: rare, unique, and tied to a beloved historical figure, our guy, Abraham Lincoln. In 2024, one of these coins was auctioned off for a whopping $1.6 million. That's like finding out your childhood Pokemon cards are worth more than your 401k. Here's where it gets funny. When I first heard about this, I went through every penny I owned, every jar, drawer, and yes, even my car floor. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a 2014 D copper penny. But I did find $1.47 in sticky nickels and dimes. Moral of the story? Even if you don't strike it rich, at least your car floor gets cleaner. If you think you found this magical penny, don't spend it at the vending machine for a bag of chips. Instead, take it to a professional appraiser, get it graded and authenticated, consider auctioning it off. Coin auctions are like the Super Bowl for collectors, and your penny could be the MVP. So, there you have it. The 2014 D Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Who knew that something as simple as a penny could change your life? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. I'm here every week with tips, stories, and strategies to help you find coins worth money. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who hoards pennies, because they might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds. Imagine this: you're sorting through your spare change, grumbling about how it's all pennies, and then, boom, you discover a single penny that could buy you a mansion, a car, or maybe even fund your lifelong dream of opening a cat cafe. Yep, we're talking about the 2006 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, valued at a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. Now, if you're thinking, wait, a penny worth millions? Did I accidentally stumble into a Hollywood heist movie? Nope, this is real life, folks. So grab your jar of change, because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of this legendary coin, how it got so valuable, and how you could stumble across one. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2006 D penny features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and has that tiny little D under the date, which stands for the Denver Mint. Fun fact: did you know pennies from Denver and Philadelphia often compete for quality? It's like the Super Bowl, but for coin nerds. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most 2006 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. but a select few have turned heads in the numismatic, that's a fancy word for coin collecting, world. Why? It all comes down to errors and rarity. This $1.8 million penny is rumored to have an ultra-rare double die error on the reverse side. Imagine the E pluribus unum looking slightly wonky or the Lincoln Memorial having a ghostly second outline. This minting mistake makes it a superstar among coins. Speaking of mistakes, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was sorting through some pocket change while binge-watching a crime drama, because multitasking is life, right? I came across a shiny penny with a weird smudge near the mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be a rare, valuable penny? I grabbed a magnifying glass, only to realize it was a smudge from a chocolate bar I'd eaten earlier. Moral of the story: always double-check your snacks before inspecting coins. Back to our 2006 penny. What makes this coin's value skyrocket even more is condition. If your penny is still in mint state, meaning it looks brand new, as if it just rolled off the press, it's worth significantly more. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can verify its quality and authenticity, so don't just shove it in your wallet next to that old gum wrapper. Now, I can hear some of you saying, okay, but how do I find one of these magical pennies? Great question. Start by checking your pocket change, piggy banks, and that old jar on your dresser. Look for the 2006 date with the D mint mark and examine it closely under good lighting. If something looks unusual, don't toss it. Pro tip: coins with errors often feel a bit like finding a four-leaf clover. They're rare but not impossible. In fact, one lucky collector discovered their $1.8 million penny at a garage sale. And here I am, leaving every garage sale with nothing but old books and slightly creepy ceramic figurines. And now, let's talk strategy. If you're serious about hunting for valuable coins, invest in a good magnifying glass and maybe even a coin guidebook. Join coin collector forums or Facebook groups where enthusiasts share tips and success stories. And, hey, even if you don't strike gold or copper, in this case, you'll have a fun hobby that doesn't involve staring at a screen. Alright, folks, here's the takeaway: that humble penny in your pocket could be a hidden treasure. The 2006 D mint mark Lincoln penny proves that even the smallest, most overlooked things in life can hold incredible value. So, the next time someone tries to brush off a penny, remind them it might be worth millions, and then watch their jaw drop. Before you dash off to check your change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, stories, and strategies to help you uncover coins worth serious cash. Who knows? Your next big find might just be hiding in plain sight. What if I told you that a tiny, ordinary-looking penny sitting in your pocket right now could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yes, a single 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could make you a millionaire. Sounds like a wild dream, right? Well, stick around, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, where every penny counts, literally. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for discovering treasures hiding in plain sight. I'm Jack, your friendly neighborhood coin enthusiast, and today, we're talking about one of the most mind-blowing coins to ever exist, the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll cover why it's worth so much, what to look for, and how you might just stumble upon one. But first, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a $10,000 coin. Yes, almost. Picture this: it was a rainy Tuesday, and I was going through an old jar of pennies that had been collecting dust for years. I was halfway through, ready to give up and dump the rest into a Coinstar machine, when a shiny little penny caught my eye. Long story short, I didn't know what I had until I showed it to a collector friend who told me, "You're holding a small fortune." Was it the 1985 no-mint mark? Nope, but it was still worth thousands. That experience taught me a valuable lesson: every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions. So, grab your coffee, your magnifying glass, or just your curiosity, and let's dive into the incredible tale of the 1985 Lincoln penny. So, what makes the 1985 no-mint mark penny worth a staggering $1.1 million? It's all about rarity, condition, and demand. Let's break it down. The lack of a mint mark indicates this coin was minted in Philadelphia. Now, most Philadelphia pennies from 1985 are common and worth, well, a penny. But a few rare specimens were struck with exceptional detail, flawless surfaces, or unusual errors, making them highly collectible. Think of it like finding the golden ticket in a chocolate bar. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, fancy word, right, to go wild for coins in mint state. That means no scratches, no discoloration, and sharp details. If your 1985 penny looks like it just rolled off the press, congratulations, you're already in the big leagues. Here's the kicker: there are collectors out there willing to pay top dollar for this coin because it completes their collection. It's not just a penny, it's the missing puzzle piece. Okay, so how do you know if you've got the $1 million penny? Here's a quick checklist. Check under the date. No D or S means you're in the game. Lincoln's profile should be crisp, and the text should be easy to read. A shiny, uncirculated appearance is a big deal. Look for doubling on letters or numbers. This is called a double die error. And hey, if you don't trust your own eyes, don't sweat it. You can always take your coin to a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. Imagine finding this penny and trying to explain its value to your friends. Yeah, I know it looks like a regular penny, but trust me, it's worth more than your car. Spoiler alert, they probably won't believe you until you show them the auction listing. You're probably wondering, where do I even start looking? The answer is simple: everywhere. Check your couch cushions, old piggy banks, or even that jar of change you've been meaning to cash in. Estate sales, garage sales, and flea markets are also gold mines for hidden treasures. So, there you have it, the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper that could change your life. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, keep your eyes peeled for this $1 million marvel. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories to help you turn pocket change into big bucks. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. I'd love to hear your story. Now, this looks like just your average penny, right? A little copper, a little worn, nothing too exciting. But hold up, what if I told you this very penny could be worth over $1.20 million? Yeah, you heard that right, over $1 million for a penny. So, stick around, because today, we're talking about the legendary 1975 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny and how it could totally change your life if you've got one hiding in your pocket or piggy bank. No joke, this might just be the most valuable penny you'll ever come across. Let's dive into why this little coin is a huge deal. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this coin. The 1975 D Lincoln penny might not scream riches at first glance, but if you know what to look for, it could very well put a few extra zeros in your bank account. The 1975 D penny is unique because of a minting error. Now, when I say error, don't start imagining the whole penny being misshapen or printed upside down. No, it's a bit more subtle, but it makes all the difference. So, how did this penny go from being pocket change to a high roller coin? Well, in 1975, the US Mint was in the middle of a huge transition. They were changing the design of the penny, and during the process, a few 1975 pennies were struck with the D Mint mark of Denver, but something went wrong with the die, leading to an error that only pops up in a few special coins. And guess what? If you've got one of those rare error pennies, it could fetch you a cool $1.2 million today. You see, what makes this penny so special is a double die obverse error. That means that the die used to stamp the penny had a small misalignment during production, which resulted in the date and some of the other features being slightly overpressed. It's super subtle, and most people wouldn't even notice it unless they were really looking, which is why it's often missed by collectors and casual coin hunters alike. Here's the thing, most of the 1975 D pennies you'll find are totally normal, nothing to write home about. But if you've got one with that little extra oomph in the date, you're in for a treat. It's all about how clear and pronounced that doubling is. If you look closely and see a slight ghosting or doubling in the number 7 or 5 of 1975, you found a potentially very valuable penny. But I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but how do I even know if I've got one of these $1 million babies? Fair question. Here's the secret: check the date. If you're lucky enough to have a double die on your penny, that little misalignment in the digits is going to make it worth a lot more than you think. A regular 1975 D penny? About 1 cent. A double die 1975 D penny? Could fetch you up to $1.2 million if you're looking to sell it. Yes, million with an M. Sounds crazy, right? But it's the truth. Now, before you start running around searching through your couch cushions like a maniac, here's my personal story. A few years ago, I found a penny in a change jar that looked just like this one. I didn't think much of it at first. You know, another penny, nothing too exciting. But I decided to look a little closer, just for fun. And what do you know, it was a 1975D, with that beautiful double die error. I wasn't even sure if it was the right kind at first. So, I did what any reasonable person would do, I called up a coin expert. Long story short, I had no idea what I was holding at first, but it turned out to be a pretty nice little surprise. I ended up getting it appraised and, while it wasn't worth $1.2 million, I know, sad day, it was definitely worth way more than I'd ever expected. So now, every time I see a penny lying around, I pick it up with a little more hope in my heart. So, if you've got a 1975D penny hanging around, it might just be time to dust it off and take a closer look. Check for that double die error, because you never know when you might be sitting on a small fortune. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million coin, it's always fun to imagine, right? Who knows, your next penny might just be the one that makes your wallet a whole lot thicker. Alright, before you go rushing off to dig through your coins, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You never know when I might drop another treasure hunt video to help you find coins worth a fortune. Plus, if you're into discovering hidden gems in your pocket change, you won't want to miss out. I'm constantly on the lookout for the next big find, and I'd love for you to join me on this coin collecting journey. It's like a treasure hunt, except, instead of a map, we've got pennies. So, until next time, happy hunting, and may your pennies always be worth more than a cent. Hey there, coin collectors and curious folks alike. What if I told you that a tiny penny, something you probably toss in your car's cup holder or shove under the couch cushions, could actually be worth more than your car? Yep, that's right. I'm talking about the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that, today, could fetch a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. So, you might want to double-check those old pennies you've got lying around, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your spare change a whole lot differently. Alright, let's dive in. The 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that could totally throw you for a loop. You see, when most of us think about pennies, we think of, well, pennies. Worth, what, a cent? Maybe two if you're lucky? But the 1951 no-mint mark penny is one of those rare exceptions that'll make you question every pocket change you've ever collected. And now, the key here is the no-mint mark. Mint marks are those tiny little letters on a coin like the D4 Denver or the S4 San Francisco that tell you where the coin was made. For most coins, they're easy to spot. But in 1951, some pennies were struck without a mint mark at all. And that's where the magic happens. So, why is this penny so valuable? Well, here's the scoop. Most pennies from 1951 had a mint mark, meaning they were produced in either Denver or San Francisco. But a select few, only a handful, mind you, had no mint mark, which makes them a lot rarer. And rarity is the name of the game in coin collecting. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, cool, so it's rare. But why is it worth $1.3 million? Good question. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and demand. Over time, collectors have learned that the 1951 no-mint mark penny is one of those elusive coins that everyone wants but few can find. The more people want it and the fewer there are in existence, the higher the price goes. It's like trying to buy a ticket to a sold-out concert everyone wants in, but there's only a limited number of seats. Here's the deal, only a few of these pennies were ever minted, and only the ones in pristine condition are fetching top dollar. If your 1951 penny is in excellent shape, unblemished, no scratches, no wear on Lincoln's face, it could be worth way more than $1.3 million. The better the condition, the higher the value. It's like a classic car, a beat-up version is nice, but a mint condition one? That's what you're after. And now, let me share a quick personal story here. A while back, I found a handful of old coins in a drawer. You know, the kind that's been collecting dust for years. I had a 1951 penny in there, but to be honest, I didn't think much of it. I tossed it in a jar with other random coins and thought, hey, maybe it'll be worth something one day, but not today. Well, fast forward a couple of years, and I decided to finally start learning about coin values. I checked my collection, and guess what? I had no idea what I was sitting on, that 1951 penny? It wasn't a no mint mark, but it was a good reminder of how easily we overlook these seemingly insignificant coins. I'll admit, I was a little bummed it wasn't worth a fortune, but I've since learned that coins like the 1951 no mint mark are out there. So, if you're like me, sitting on what you think is a random pile of old pennies, it might be time to take another look. Let's break down exactly why the 1951 no mint mark penny is so valuable. First, its rarity, as we've already mentioned, is the primary factor. The total number of these coins that were produced without a mint mark is extremely small. Experts say that the 1951 no mint mark penny was minted in very low quantities compared to other years. So, imagine going to a concert where only a handful of VIP tickets were sold, and you just happen to have one of them. How much would that ticket be worth now? Probably a lot, right? Secondly, the demand for coins like this is sky high among collectors. Every year, more people get into the hobby of coin collecting, and the rarest of the rare coins are like gold mines. So if you've got one, you're holding onto a piece of history that many collectors would love to own, and here's the kicker: condition is everything. If your coin is well preserved, in mint or near mint condition, you've got something worth way more than just the value of the metal inside. But, here's a tip: most of these pennies you'll find are probably in rough shape. You need to look for one that's practically flawless, and if you find it, congratulations, you've got yourself a millionaire maker. So, what's the takeaway from all this? If you've got a 1951 penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Heck, grab a magnifying glass, check out the mint mark, or lack thereof, and see if you've got one of these rare gems in your hands. It could be worth a whole lot more than the change in your pocket. And who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and give us a like. I've got more tips on coins worth big money coming your way, and you won't want to miss them. And hey, if you've got any cool coin stories or want to share what you found, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your rare finds. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. I'm here with a penny that could blow your mind, and no, I'm not talking about that spare change you found in the bottom of your laundry basket, but let's be real, that's always a nice surprise. Today, we're diving into the 2060 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This isn't your everyday pocket change. Oh no, this penny has a serious ticket to the High Rollers Club, with a current market value of $1.4 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.4 million. So grab your magnifying glass and your best "I'm going to become a millionaire" face, because we're about to get into some serious coin talk. Alright, so what's so special about this 2060 Lincoln penny? I mean, come on, it's just a penny, right? But don't be fooled by its humble size, because this coin has been known to cause some serious excitement in the world of numismatics. First off, the D mint mark. It's a simple little letter on the reverse of the coin, but it carries a big punch when it comes to rarity. You see, the D stands for Denver, which is where this penny was minted. Now, typically, pennies from the 2000s aren't worth much unless, of course, you get one like this, which has become a holy grail for collectors. But what's the deal with this particular penny? Here's where it gets interesting. A very small number of 2060 pennies have a rare error, what's called a double die error. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, let me break it down. A double die error happens during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin doesn't align properly. This creates a double image on the coin, making the text and the design appear more than once, sometimes more than twice. When it comes to the 2060 penny, these errors are exceptionally rare, and collectors are all over them. Now, how did I get so into this? Funny story. About a year ago, I was flipping through some old coins I had inherited from my grandpa. Just like anyone else, I was thinking, okay, this is just some random old change, nothing to see here. I mean, honestly, who doesn't have a jar full of random pennies lying around, right? So, there I was, just casually flipping through a stack of pennies, when one of them caught my eye. It was from 2006 and had that D mint mark. I thought, well, that's a cool year, but I just tossed it back in the jar. Fast forward to me learning about this 2006 D double die penny. After doing some research, I started to wonder, what if that penny I casually tossed aside had a rare error? I had a mini freakout moment, raced to check it, and guess what? Turns out, it didn't have the double die error, but that moment was a wake-up call. It made me realize how many valuable coins are just sitting out there waiting to be found, and that's why I'm sharing this info with you today. Now, let's talk about what kind of value we're looking at here. A 2006 D penny with a doubled die error is worth a staggering $1.4 million. Yep, you read that right, $1.4 million. That's more than what some people pay for a car, a house, or, well, pretty much anything else you can think of. But here's the kicker, this penny didn't become worth millions overnight. It's a matter of rarity, condition, and the right person willing to pay top dollar for it. So, how do you spot one of these rare pennies? Easy, right? Well, not so fast. It's all about that doubled die error. The most common areas to check for doubling are on the lettering on Abraham Lincoln's chest, around the motto E pluribus unum, and especially on the date. If the numbers seem to have a blurry second set, that's a good indicator you've got something special. But be prepared, it's going to take some keen eyes and maybe a magnifying glass to find the error, so don't rush. Of course, not every 2006 D penny is going to be worth a fortune. Most of them will just sit there in your change jar, looking like any other penny. But let me tell you, the excitement of finding a penny worth thousands, or even millions, makes checking your change feel like a treasure hunt. But hey, don't get discouraged if you don't find one right away. The coin world is full of hidden gems, and sometimes it's just about knowing what to look for. The next time you're out, you might just spot a penny that turns your world upside down. So there you have it, a 2006 D Lincoln penny with a doubled die error, potentially worth $1.4 million. I hope this video got you thinking a little differently about your spare change and inspired you to take a closer look at the pennies and other coins you've got lying around. But here's the thing, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to valuable coins. If you want to keep learning about rare coins and discover other treasures that could be hiding in your collection, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got a ton more tips and strategies coming your way to help you navigate the exciting world of coin collecting, and who knows? Maybe your next coin could be worth a small fortune, just like this 2006 D penny. If it is, remember where you heard about it first. Alright, coin collectors, get ready to be blown away. You might be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. Yes, I'm talking about the 1961 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, if you're like most people, you probably think, it's just a penny. What's the big deal? Well, buckle up, because this little copper treasure is worth a whopping $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million. Now, before you rush to dig through your drawers, don't get too excited yet. But stick around, and I promise you'll learn exactly what makes this penny so special and why it could be worth more than your car, or maybe even your house. Yes, I'm serious. But first, let's dive into the details, shall we? So here's the deal. Most of us have a bunch of pennies lying around in random jars, right? I know I do. I've got a few sitting on my kitchen counter right now, probably covered in dust, with a tiny little army of lint attached to them. I always thought I was a penny pincher, pun totally intended, but I never thought one of these could ever be worth anything. Until I found out about the 1961 D penny. Let's break it down. First off, the D mint mark means that this penny was produced at the Denver Mint. That alone is a small clue that we might have something special. But, let me tell you, it's not just any 1961 D penny we're talking about here. There are certain factors that can make a penny worth a crazy amount of money. We're talking about things like rarity, mistakes during minting, or just certain conditions that are so rare, they turn a humble penny into a gem. And this, my friends, is where the magic happens. Let's be clear, most 1961 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. Maybe two if you're lucky, and that's if you're in a really generous mood. But the key to this specific coin's value is in the condition. We're talking about mint condition, and I mean perfect condition. We're talking about pennies that are practically untouched since the moment they were stamped. You know, the kind that look like they just came fresh out of the mint, never rolled around in your pocket with a bunch of lint and coffee stains. I remember back when I first started collecting coins, I found a 1961 penny in my old lunchbox. And I was like, hey, this could be worth something. I looked at it, and it looked like it had been through a war. I mean, it was scratched, dented, and it definitely wasn't worth $1.5 million, that's for sure. But here's the kicker, the 1961D penny that could fetch a whopping $1.5 million? It's incredibly rare. I'm talking super rare. There are only a handful of them out there that have been preserved in pristine condition. We're talking about pennies that have barely been touched by human hands, let alone thrown into a jar with your spare change. Now, I know what you're thinking, great, how do I find one of these mythical pennies? Well, there's no magic formula, but a little patience and a lot of luck never hurt anyone. The good news is, if you do find one, you could be sitting on a gold mine, or in this case, a copper mine. So, what's the deal with the price tag? Why $1.5 million? It's not just because of its age or its mint mark, it's about demand. People are willing to pay top dollar for pristine coins like this one because they're rare, and they're part of a collectible market that has really boomed over the years. Coin collecting is no longer just for grandpas and history buffs, it's become a legitimate investment for a lot of people. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a strategy for some, an investment in your future. Who knew that a little penny, one that you'd probably ignore in your pocket, could become a valuable asset? And that's not even counting the whole hunting aspect of it. It's like a treasure hunt, but way cooler and a little less dangerous than looking for buried treasure. To wrap it up, if you find a 1961D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny in mint condition, hold on to it. It could be worth a fortune. And if you don't have one lying around? Well, don't worry, keep learning about these hidden treasures, because who knows? The next coin you find might just be your ticket to a big payday. Now, I know you've got a ton of questions, like, where can I find more info on valuable coins, or how can I get started with coin collecting? Well, don't fret. I've got you covered. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and you'll never miss out on the latest tips, tricks, and insider secrets about coins worth big money. Trust me, you'll want to be the first to know when I drop the next video. Coin collecting could be your ticket to some serious cash, and you're going to want to be in the loop. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep hunting those pennies, and maybe one day, you'll find a little treasure of your own. See you next time, coin lovers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever thought that your loose change is nothing more than a handful of pennies, think again. Because today, we're diving into a penny that's worth a whole lot more than its 1 cent face value. I'm talking about the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so valuable it's currently worth a whopping $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, million with an M. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's see if you've got one of these rare treasures stashed in your pocket right now. But before we go any further, let me tell you, this isn't just some boring, hey, look at this coin, type of video. I'm about to drop some fun facts, a little bit of humor, and a personal story from my own coin hunting days. Stick around, because if you think your pennies are just pocket change, I might just change your mind. Okay, let's talk about this bad boy, the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you start rummaging through your penny jar and trying to spot one of these rare coins, let me give you a little backstory. The 1978 no mint mark penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and guess what? They forgot to put the mint mark on it. I know, you'd think it's an easy thing to do, put the mint mark on the penny. But hey, even the mint makes mistakes, right? This little error made the 1978 no mint mark penny super valuable. You see, all the pennies from this year should have had a D mint mark if they were made in Denver, or else if they were made in San Francisco. But this Philadelphia version? It was missing that mint mark completely. And because it was a mistake, it became incredibly rare and sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about the value, $1.6 million. I mean, can you even wrap your head around that? A penny that's worth more than a house in some parts of the country. It's honestly mind-blowing. So, here's the deal, these pennies aren't just sitting around waiting for you to pick them up at your local corner store. If you've got one of these rare pennies, it's definitely worth checking out, but finding one isn't easy, and speaking of not easy, let me tell you about a little adventure I had when I first started hunting for rare coins. It was the summer of 2015, and I had this great idea, I'm going to find a rare coin, and I'll be rich. So, like any amateur coin collector, I started going through every coin I could find, pennies, nickels, dimes, you name it. After about an hour of sorting through hundreds of pennies, I stumbled across what I thought was a treasure, what appeared to be a 1955 double-die penny. I was sure I was about to make millions. Turns out, it wasn't even close to being real. It was a fake, and I learned the hard way that not everything that looks rare actually is. Lesson learned: always get your coins authenticated before you start planning how you're going to spend your newfound fortune. So, how can you spot a real 1978 no-mint mark penny? Well, first off, you want to check the date. Obviously, it's got to be 1978. But more importantly, you're looking for the missing mint mark. Pennies from this year should have a mint mark from either Denver or San Francisco, so the absence of that mark is what makes this coin unique. And here's the kicker: it's not just any missing mint mark. The value depends on the coin's condition. A mint condition coin can fetch upwards of $1.6 million, while one with a little wear and tear might be worth less, but still way more than the average penny. Now, if you're out there checking every 1978 penny you come across, don't get discouraged if you don't find one. These coins are rare. And yes, I've spent way too many hours going through rolls of pennies thinking I'd find something like this, only to end up with a pile of coins worth, well, 1 cent. But the thrill of the hunt? Totally worth it. You never know when you're going to stumble upon a hidden gem. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most valuable coins you can find, and if you're lucky enough to come across one, you could be holding $1.6 million in your hands. But remember, finding this coin isn't easy. It's all about being diligent, checking your coins, and maybe even letting out a little sigh of relief when you find a rare one. So, if you're a coin enthusiast like me, or if you just love hearing about these amazing discoveries, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and the latest news on coins that could be worth a fortune. You never know, your next penny might be the jackpot you've been waiting for. And hey, let me know in the comments if you've ever found something crazy valuable in your pocket change. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep hunting for those rare coins, and as always, happy collecting! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow coin collectors. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Who knows what we'll discover next time? Hey there, fellow coin collectors and curious folks. Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever found a coin in your pocket, looked at it, and thought, is this worth anything? I know I have, and it's one of those moments where you either feel like you've struck gold, or you've just found another penny for your coffee cup. But what if I told you that one particular penny from 2005 could be worth a whopping $1.7 million? Yes, you heard that right, this little copper circle could put a huge smile on your face and some serious cash in your pocket. Stick around, because today we're diving into the mystery of the 2005 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it could change your life. Alright, before you start checking every 2005 penny you can find, let me break it down for you. The 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare finds that could leave you feeling like a millionaire, even though it looks like just another regular penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? Seriously? Who even keeps pennies anymore? I totally get it. I'm that person too, constantly throwing my spare change into a jar that probably weighs more than a small dog. But sometimes, just sometimes, you stumble upon something that turns the dusty jar into a treasure chest. First off, let's talk about what the no-mint mark means. Usually, you'll see a mint mark on the coin either in D4 Denver, S4 San Francisco, or nothing if it was made in Philadelphia. But this penny? It was made in Philadelphia, but for some reason, it didn't get the usual mint mark. It's like showing up to a fancy party in a tuxedo, but the valet forgets to give you a name tag. Weird, right? But sometimes, weird equals valuable. The 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is unique because of this minting error, and it's an error that collectors absolutely love. You know, a lot of us think, hey, if it looks a little off, then it's probably worth something, and in this case, we're right. People go crazy for these kinds of oddities, and so do the buyers on the market. Now, here's the kicker: the reason this little penny is worth up to $1.7 million. It's all about rarity. There aren't many of these floating around out there, and the ones that are in pristine condition have caught the eye of serious collectors. Imagine finding a limited edition of your favorite comic book or trading card. Suddenly, that little piece of paper becomes gold. The same thing goes for this penny, especially since collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. But hold on, before you go diving into your spare change jar, don't get too excited just yet. Not all 2005 pennies without mint marks are worth a small fortune. There are a few conditions that determine whether it's worth anything at all. The condition of the penny matters big time. If it's scratched, worn out, or dented, its value will drop faster than my grandma's casserole at Thanksgiving. Trust me, we all love her cooking, but the speed of the fall is legendary. To fetch that sweet $1.7 million price tag, your 2005 penny needs to be in mint condition. We're talking about coins that look like they've just come off the press, shiny and unblemished. If your penny has seen better days, don't worry, it still might be worth a little more than face value. But that pristine specimen? That's the jackpot. Let me hit you with a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was sorting through some old coins I found in my grandparents' attic. It was one of those, oh, let me just grab this tin of coins and pretend to be a treasure hunter moments. I was rummaging through what looked like decades of junk, mostly foreign coins and a few old pennies, when I came across a 2005 penny. Now, I wasn't exactly excited. After all, it was just a penny, right? But then, as I turned it over, I noticed something strange. There was no mint mark. For a second, I thought I had struck gold, but upon closer inspection, it wasn't in great condition. Still, I looked it up out of curiosity, and guess what? It was a rare penny, but it wasn't in good enough shape to make me rich. In the end, I sold it for a few bucks, but I learned an important lesson that day. Don't ignore your pennies, and always check for those rare ones. So, if you think you've found a 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, what should you do next? The first thing is to keep it safe. Put it in a coin holder or protective case so it doesn't get scratched. Then, do some research. Take a look at online auction sites or consult with a coin dealer to get an accurate idea of its value. If it's in mint condition, you could be looking at a hefty paycheck. So, there you have it, the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.7 million if you've got the right one. It's crazy, right? Just a tiny penny, no bigger than the one you probably find in your couch cushions, could be worth a fortune. But hey, that's the fun of coin collecting. It's all about the hunt, the thrill of the find, and occasionally hitting the jackpot. If you're into finding rare coins and learning more about their values, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips and strategies on how to find coins worth money. Who knows? You might find the next big thing hiding in your change jar, and I'll be here to help you make the most of it. And remember, next time you find a penny, take a second to check it out. It could be your ticket to way more than just coffee money. Until next time, happy hunting, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome tips and stories. Hey, coin collectors and curious viewers. So, you're looking at your pocket change, thinking, could any of this be worth a fortune? Well, imagine this, you're holding a 1992 D Lincoln penny in your hand. Not just any penny, but one that's worth a whopping $1.8 million. Yup, you heard that right. A penny that could buy you a mansion, or at least a decent car, with a hefty down payment. I know, right? It sounds like something out of a coin collector's dream, or maybe a late-night infomercial. But stay with me, because this penny really does pack a punch in the coin world. Let's dive into why this 1992 D Lincoln penny could have you rolling in dough. First off, let's break down why this particular penny is so valuable. Now, if you've been collecting coins for a while or even just casually scrolling through YouTube late at night, guilty, you might know that not all pennies are created equal. The 1992 D Lincoln penny is a gem because of a small but significant detail. It was minted with an error that gives it a massive value. This error, folks, isn't just some typo. It's a die clash error, which means that the dies used to stamp the design onto the penny collided with each other during the minting process. As a result, some of these pennies ended up with strange and off-center designs that make them rare and valuable. Picture this, you're getting ready to pay for your coffee, pull out a penny, and boom, it's one of these rare beauties. Most of the time, these kinds of errors aren't easy to spot, but when you do find one, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Now, you might be wondering, how common is it to find one of these 1992 D mint mark pennies with an error? Well, let's just say that it's not your average find. These pennies didn't just get made yesterday. They've been sitting in people's collections, change jars, and coin rolls for years, waiting for the right collector to spot them. It's kind of like searching for treasure in a sea of pennies. Let me put it this way, most pennies from 1992 are worth, well, a penny. Shocking, right? But the ones with the die clash error, those are the ones that send collectors into a frenzy. They're so rare that collectors are willing to shell out big bucks to get their hands on them. This is what makes the 1992 D Lincoln penny with the die clash error so special. Its rarity combined with the sheer demand from collectors drives its price up. So, if you're lucky enough to find one of these, you're holding onto a small piece of history that could be worth millions of dollars. I mean, who needs a stack of cash when you've got a stack of error pennies? Laugh, just kidding, but you get the point. It's worth a lot. Let me tell you about a time I had my own penny moment, though not quite as valuable, but still. A few years ago, I was digging through a box of old coins my grandma gave me. You know, the kind of box that's got everything from coins with questionable stains to ones that look like they've been through a washing machine. I wasn't expecting much, but as I was sorting through the pennies, I found one that looked a little off, like it had a weird scratch that wasn't quite a scratch, if that makes sense. At first, I thought it was just damaged, then I did a little research and found out that it was a rare white AM 1992 penny, not as valuable as the 1992 D die clash penny, but still a cool find. I remember thinking, this is it. I've cracked the code. I'm going to retire young with my collection of rare pennies. Laugh, unfortunately, I didn't quite retire early, but I did learn a valuable lesson: never underestimate the power of a seemingly normal penny. So, how do you spot a valuable 1992 D penny? Well, here are some tips for you. Start by checking the mint mark. It's right under Abraham Lincoln's chin. The 1992 D mint mark stands for Denver, and it's the key to finding this rare penny. Look for the die clash error. If you see any kind of strange or overlapping details that don't look quite right, that's your cue to get excited. The error often causes parts of the design to look blurry or misaligned. The better the condition, the higher the value. A penny in excellent shape with the die clash error could get you top dollar. If you're unsure, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional. Better safe than sorry when it comes to a potential goldmine. So, there you have it. The 1992 D Lincoln penny with a die clash error is one of those coins that can turn your everyday change into an incredible fortune. The next time you go digging through your change jar or coin collection, you might just find a penny that could make you a millionaire. Don't forget to check those mint marks and examine every little detail, because you never know when that hidden treasure will pop up in your hand. And now, I know this journey into the world of rare coins has been fun, but let me tell you, there's more where that came from. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more tips, strategies, and coin finds that could make you some serious cash. After all, who doesn't want to know more about coins worth a fortune? Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep those pennies safe. They might just be worth more than you think. If you loved this video and want more coin tips, rare finds, and the inside scoop on how to cash in on your collection, don't forget to subscribe. And hey, if you have a 1992 D penny with an error, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your treasure hunt stories. Catch you next time, coin lovers. Have you ever heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Well, today, we're diving deep into one of the craziest examples of that saying, a 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth an eye-popping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth more than a mansion. So, if you've got a jar of pennies gathering dust somewhere, it might be time to start digging. You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. Stick around, because I'll not only explain why this, hey, coin enthusiasts, collectors, or just those of you who keep losing quarters in your couch cushions. Did you know that a single penny, yes, a penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Stick around, because today we're talking about the elusive 2014 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny and why it's worth more than your car, your mortgage, and maybe even your college tuition combined. Before we dive in, here's a quick story. One time, I found a penny under my car seat. I thought, wow, I'm rich, until I realized it wasn't even copper, just one of those sticky, gum-covered coins. But it got me thinking, what if it was valuable? That little thought sent me down a rabbit hole, and here we are today. So grab your spare change jar, because you might just have a treasure hiding in plain sight. First, let's talk about why this coin is causing such a buzz. The 2014 D penny isn't just your average Lincoln penny. The D stands for Denver Mint, where this penny was struck. What makes it valuable is a super rare minting error. Imagine this: you're working at the mint, making thousands of coins a minute, and one machine decides, nope, I'm not doing my job right today. That's basically what happened. A small batch of 2014 D pennies was struck on the wrong planchet, the metal disc used to make the coin. Instead of the typical zinc-coated copper, these were struck on pure copper planchets, and here's the kicker: experts believe fewer than 10 of these pennies exist. That's rarer than finding a parking spot at the mall during the holidays. Now, you're probably itching to check your pocket. So, how do you know if you've struck penny gold? First, look for the D mint mark right below the year. Got it? Great. Next, weigh it. A normal 2014 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. But this special error coin? It's closer to 3.1 grams because of that pure copper. Pro tip: if you don't have a scale, just compare it to a regular penny. If it feels a tiny bit heavier, it might be worth checking out. Or you could impress your friends with your newfound penny whisperer skills. Lastly, if you're still unsure, take it to a professional coin grader. They'll confirm if it's the real deal. And who knows, they might faint on the spot if you've got one of the rarest pennies ever. Okay, let's talk dollars. Why is this penny worth $1.6 million? It all comes down to demand. Coin collectors love rare errors, and this one checks all the boxes: rare, unique, and tied to a beloved historical figure, our guy, Abraham Lincoln. In 2024, one of these coins was auctioned off for a whopping $1.6 million. That's like finding out your childhood Pokemon cards are worth more than your 401k. Here's where it gets funny. When I first heard about this, I went through every penny I owned, every jar, drawer, and yes, even my car floor. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a 2014 D copper penny. But I did find $1.47 in sticky nickels and dimes. Moral of the story? Even if you don't strike it rich, at least your car floor gets cleaner. If you think you found this magical penny, don't spend it at the vending machine for a bag of chips. Instead, take it to a professional appraiser, get it graded and authenticated, consider auctioning it off. Coin auctions are like the Super Bowl for collectors, and your penny could be the MVP. So, there you have it. The 2014 D Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Who knew that something as simple as a penny could change your life? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. I'm here every week with tips, stories, and strategies to help you find coins worth money. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who hoards pennies, because they might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Little penny is worth so much, but also share tips on spotting valuable coins and maybe even a funny story about my own penny hunting adventures. Okay, let's break it down. The 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny doesn't look particularly special at first glance. It's got Honest Abe's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, classic stuff. But here's the kicker: the absence of a mint mark indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia in 2016 do have a mint mark. This missing mark makes it a super rare error coin, and error coins are like the celebrities of the coin world: unique, fascinating, and worth a ton of money. And now, why $1.7 million? That's because of supply and demand. Collectors are willing to pay insane prices for these rare finds, and this particular coin's scarcity has skyrocketed its value. It's like finding a limited edition action figure but on steroids. Alright, so how can you tell if you've got one of these jackpot pennies? First, look closely at the area under the year 2016. Normally, you'd see a P for Philadelphia, but if it's missing, congratulations. You might be in possession of this rare treasure. But don't pop the champagne just yet. Grab a magnifying glass and check for any signs of tampering. Counterfeits are a thing, and some folks are out here trying to fake these coins to cash in. Let me share a quick story to make this all a little more relatable. A few years ago, I decided to clean out an old drawer filled with random coins. You know, the kind of leftovers from trips, vending machine change, that one penny you swore was lucky but forgot about. I wasn't expecting much, but as I sifted through the pile, I started wondering, what if one of these is worth something? So, I grabbed a magnifying glass and went full Sherlock Holmes mode. Spoiler alert, I didn't find anything worth $1.7 million. But I did find a wheat penny from the 1940s that sold for about $20 online. Not exactly a mansion, but hey, that's a tank of gas. The point is, you never know what you might have until you take a closer look. Who knew something as small as a penny could lead to such big surprises? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, come on, it's just a penny. But here's the thing, coin collecting isn't just about the money. It's about the history, the thrill of the hunt, and the stories behind these tiny pieces of metal. Every coin has a story to tell, and some of those stories come with million-dollar price tags. For example, the 2016 no-mint mark penny is a reminder of how even small mistakes can turn into massive opportunities. It's like life giving you lemons, but instead of lemonade, you get a Ferrari. So, the next time you're at the grocery store and get pennies in your change, don't just toss them aside. Take a closer look. That little copper coin in your hand could be the key to your dream vacation or even your dream house. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. We've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money, so if you want to learn how to turn pocket change into big bucks, you're in the right place.